So let's talk about how this technology works. It relies on placing electrodes on the scalp to create electric fields that interact with the brain. Now, you can be picky in where you put the electrode. Put the electrode over the part of the brain that you want to get better. That'll be important in a second. A 20-minute session with neurostimulation with this electrode will induce a temporary state of what neuroscientists call hyperplasticity. Sorry, translator. Another way of saying this is hyperlearning. That lasts for about an hour. So 20 minutes buys you an hour of hyperlearning. Then what you do, while you're in the state of hyperlearning, is you feed that part of the brain training repetitions, quality training repetitions. And if you do that, you will learn at an accelerated rate. And so we did a bunch of research. We tested 1,000 people in our first year. And what we found is the data related to stimulating the special part of your brain called the motor cortex, the special part of your brain that controls movement in our bodies, that if we stimulated this part of the brain and we paired that with movement training, we would get dramatically accelerated results. So movement-based training obviously has an application in sports training. Sports training is movement-based training. So from our lab, we started to work with college-level athletes and then professional and Olympic athletes, and we continue to, like these numbers are dated. We've tested over 2,000 people to date. The data really led us to a use case in sports. So over here on the right, you see a cartoon of what Halo Sport looks like. Halo Sport is our first product. And you'll notice that it looks like a set of headphones. And the reason for that is because neuroanatomically, the part of your brain that controls movement sits right above your ears. So any set of headphones, Beats or Bose or JBL, it doesn't matter, the arch of the headphone just naturally goes over the motor cortex. So here we had access to elite college football and basketball players, and we had them for about 2 weeks. We split the group up into two. Half of the athletes got neurostimulation, the other half did not. Everybody got the same training program, and then we did before and after testing to compare the two groups. So if you look at, and here we're testing for how explosive the leg muscles can be. So you could see that the group that got neurostimulation improved by about 12%, versus the group that did not got better by about 2%. So, for me, like looking at this, it really starts to shed light into what makes an athlete great. Like what makes LeBron James, LeBron James? What makes Messi, Messi? The greats are the great because they learn faster from the same amount of practice, right? Everybody practices a lot. Some people get more out of practice, some people get less, right? Now, the greats get more out of practice. They learn faster than the regular people. This is what we're trying to do. We're trying to accelerate the rate that you learn from practice, right? And if you think about practice, practice costs the athlete time, fatigue, risk of injury. Practice is expensive to the athlete. If you have a way to maximize the neurologic gains from practice, this is an opportunity to really make the athlete better, intrinsically, the performance of the athlete. Okay, so, there's applications beyond sports. As a medical doctor, I'm really excited about this. So in the same way we could help an athlete get more from their physical training, what if we can help a stroke victim get more from their physical therapy? Right? Same principles of using neurostimulation to induce temporary states of hyperlearning and then feeding the brain reps. We have the opportunity, I think, to really reshape the way we think about medicine and the practice thereof. So there's applications in the military. So the military is actually Halo's biggest customer. We're active with all 4 branches of the military. We focus only on special operations. And in a short amount of time, we really have an elite group of both coaches and trainers and athletes, all believers in the technology, and I couldn't be more excited to be working with this really amazing crew of people. So let me leave you with this. I'm about to get the hook. Think about the things in your life that you want but can't have because of your brain. This is the good part. Our brains have latent capacity to learn, to retain, and process. What if we can unlock this potential?